Hi, today I'm going to talk to you about how we determine the sample size n when we're required to estimate a population proportion when we have an estimate already for p hat. In this case, we've got these three formulas again, and this is the formula that we'll be using this time. If you look at it in these forms, you'll notice that the z alpha over 2 is always squared, and then the e is always squared on the bottom, and the only change is which of these do you use. You use this first one if it's mean, you use this second one if it's a proportion when you have an estimate of p hat. We'll talk about this one next, where we are going to estimate a proportion, but we don't have an estimate for p hat. So again, this is the one that we're going to be using. And here's the sample question. How many people are necessary to estimate the population proportion of people who prefer Coke to Pepsi at a 95% confidence level if a previous study suggested that 80% preferred Coke to Pepsi with a margin of error of 3%? So this is the question. This is the formula that we're going to be using. Again, we have to calculate z alpha over 2. If we have a 95% confidence level, that gives us that alpha is 0.05. Z alpha over 2, you already know how to calculate this. It is 1.96. That's one of the ones that you probably will know by this point because you will use the 95% confidence level a lot. So the formula that we're using is this. We have z alpha over 2. P hat is given at 0.8. We've done this calculation before too for q hat. Q hat is just 1 minus p hat. And if you look at that, p hat was 0.08, so 0.8. 1 minus 0.8 is 0.2. We've got z alpha over 2, we've got p hat, we've got q hat. We want to find E. E is a margin of error of 3%, so E is 0.03. And now we're going to put this all together into this formula. N equals 1.96 squared times p hat, which is 0.8, times q hat, which is 0.2, divided by e squared, which is 0.03 squared. And if you plug that into your calculator, what you will get is 682.95. And again, you always round up on these estimates. So this one, your final answer is that n equals 683, and that is your final answer.